You know, the tween teen years are the most difficult for a girl. I played on a basketball team on the weekend with a bunch of boys. Summer was hot, so summer called for shorts. End of grade 7, one of my friends, but remember, this is a 12-year-old, so they're not a horrible person, they were just 12. She goes, "You got such hairy legs." I'm like, ah, you noticed. I knew I had hair on my legs, but I didn't really care because I was like 11 turning 12. I'm not really the girliest of girls, especially back then. But when she brought it to my attention, I thought, I know, other people care, and I care about being made fun of, so now I care. And then she brought it to everyone's attention in my class, and everyone looked at my legs, and I was like, oh! And I come from the Italian background. I'm half Italian. See, my mum's not half Italian. This is why mum wasn't able to help me. She's not half Italian. If she was, I wouldn't have had to go to her to ask, but she's not. This is why it was so traumatic, because my friend made fun of my legs and said, "You need to shave your legs." You know those people that create a problem for you? They want you to change something about you, but they don't want to help you do it. They don't want to assist you. They don't want to ask, "Would you like some help?" They don't want to offer anything and then ask you the question, why? Like, why have you not done this? And I'm like, whoa. And the answer would have been, because I don't know how to use a razor. I've never held a razor. I'm 11 turning 12, I don't know. But instead I was just like, ah. Like, that was my answer for everything. So that was humiliating. And she brought it up almost daily. And then school finished and I was like, oh good, I won't see her for the rest of summer. But I did notice now that my legs have hair on them. And I was like, it's not the best. I didn't know what to do about it. So I did nothing. I just played on my weekend basketball league with all the boys with these hairy legs. And they didn't say anything because they're boys. Boys aren't going to say anything unless they're interested in you, and they weren't. Probably because I had hairy legs. It's traumatic enough entering high school. Grade 8 was high school back then. I was 12 and a half, going to high school with hairy legs in summer. And then the same girl that was in grade 7, she also transferred to this high school. Everybody that had to transfer to this high school, it had to be the one person in my primary school that went to the same high school, because we went to different districts. Like, she shouldn't be there. Well, she was, and guess what? Because she's my friend, she hung around me, and then I made new friends, and she made sure that all my new friends also knew that I had hairy legs. We'd be walking down the corridor going from class to class. This happened every day. "Have you shaved your legs yet?" Oh, and then everyone around the corridor looks at my legs. I remember another friend saying, "Why is she asking you if you've shaved your legs?" And I went, "Oh, I don't know." But I had really nice friends in high school, besides this one. Other really nice friends, they didn't bring it up at all. But there was one comment. I started saying, "I don't shave, I wax," because I thought that would be sort of like an undercover way of letting people know that I am taking care of this. But I wasn't, because I didn't know how, so I just found pants. I found like gym pants, and a lot of girls were wearing gym pants as well, not for the same reason. All through summer when it wasn't gym time, I wore jeans and I was hot. And then people started saying, "Aren't you hot in those jeans?" And I'm like, oh yes, why thank you. I used humour to deflect, and it worked, because I never answered that question. And they laughed because that was not what they expected. And then one of my friends, a nice friend, somebody said, "Aren't you hot in those jeans?" And I said, yes I am. And she goes, "Oh, it's because she doesn't want to shave her legs." And I was like, "Ah! Don't out me like that. These are my legs." Then I realised my nice group of friends had been talking about my legs. When I was in gym, and I hadn't shown anyone my legs because I was wearing jeans and I was wearing these gym pants for an entire year. We're at the end of grade 8 now, back into summer. We're in gym class and everyone was talking about shaving legs, and then I just thought I'll just say something. So I said, "I don't shave, I wax." And everyone looked at me and one of my friends goes, "No, you don't." And then another one of my friends whacked that friend for saying something inappropriate to their friend. And then I thought, wow, they're being really nice and polite to me, but at the same time, this hair has to go. But why did I have hair on my legs for a good year and a half, halfway through grade 7, all through grade 8, and being made fun of the entire time? Why didn't I do anything about it? Because I didn't know how to do anything about it. So why didn't you ask for any help? Because I didn't know how to ask for help when I was a child. Eventually I had to ask. So then I asked my mum, "Oh, I'd like to shave my legs." Ah! And then mum goes, What? Why? It's like, oh, I don't want to explain this to my mom. I just walked away. Mums all around the world, if your kid asks you to help them shave their legs, just say, yes, dear. Show them that day. Do not delay. Every moment you delay, another hair grows on your daughter's leg. And then I went back to mum because I was getting more ridiculed in grade 9. And then I was like, Mum, I really need to shave my legs. And she goes, do you really want to? So I walked away. I was going to my room and I'm just like, oh, I don't want to talk about this. I just want the hair gone. So I went into my mum's room and I found her shaver. And I was like, looked at it and I'm like, I'm probably going to take a big chunk of skin off if I use this. I didn't even know you need to put soap on your legs. I didn't know anything. I was just like, what do you do with this? And at the time I thought razors were like deathly sharp. So it's like if I touched my leg, I'd probably have an amputated leg and then I'd have to go to hospital and they'd say, what's happened? And I'd be like, I was just doing a science experiment and I was afraid I'd cut my Achilles tendon because I just watched a movie where that had happened. So now I have a fear. Months go by and then I said to Mum, you know, this whole anger management thing. And Mum's probably thinking, wow, this child's so angry. And then Mum says, are you sure? What do I have to do? Do I have to pay you? Mum, the hair is so fine on your legs. And I went, Friday night comes, Saturday morning's coming, I'm gonna play basketball, and I didn't want the boys seeing my hairy legs anymore. It's Saturday tomorrow. And I teared up. I actually produced some tears in my childhood. And then she goes, what's Saturday got to do with it? Could you not just remove the Italian hair that you allowed to go on my legs when you decided to have children with my father? Like, you knew he was Italian. You knew that if you had a daughter, what would happen? I said, we're playing basketball tomorrow. Has someone made fun of you? No one at basketball had made fun of me, but I said yes because it looks like we're getting somewhere. And she goes, oh, this is probably why she thought I was an angry child. You snap. Even parents snap. Parents snap at their children when their kids are like, Mom, 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 Dad, Dad, Dad. What? It's a bit like asking your kid, like, could you tidy up your room? And they just won't. For the umpteenth time, you know when parents say for the umpteenth? Like, Mum, for the umpteenth time. The morning of the basketball game. She left it to the very last second. And we went to the bathroom and then she looks at my hair on my legs and she goes, are you sure? And I was like, not even responding anymore. And she goes, do you realise that once you start shaving your legs, you have to continue shaving your legs? So what the problem was for Mum is that she saw shaving legs a lot like eating Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. So once you start shaving your legs, you can't stop. That would be the goal. Keep the hair off. Mum. Weeks went by and she goes, did you need help shaving your legs? Where was this? I wondered why she thought of that. And she goes, well, you haven't asked me to help. I'm about to run this car into another car right now. I'm just thinking about this story. I did it myself, and I did. Mum was very impressed that I could even do behind the back part of the leg, which is the most trickiest part for a rookie, because I got asked for 2 years, have you shaved your legs? And the last 6 months of that, the answer was yes, and I had to prove it. These are the stories that shaped me. Story has really contributed to how I clean, because you will never have to ask me twice to clean something in your house. If you've requested it, I see it as imperative. I see it as so important. It's like my 11-year-old daughters come to me and ask me to help me shave their legs. No questions asked. This house has been requested that I lock one of the doors. Done. So I put a sticky note on my trolley so I don't forget, so that the guy does not have to ask me twice.